So, continuing the trend of symphonic 80s themed music, Victorious decided to throw in Space Ninja from Hell, which wears its inspirations on its sleeve of just referencing anime and kind of the campy nature that it can be, especially in the early days. And I was skeptical at this album's release because the first three songs that they released from the album, Space Ninja from Hell, Nippon Nights, and Shuriken Showdown, I only found one to be a bit middle of the road, and that was Shuriken Showdown. The other two, Supersonic Samurai and Nippon Nights, were two good songs for their own reasons. So, to start off with the overall album, I feel like they had a big Herman Lee influence, as a lot of the riffs and solos feel like something he would make. It's very reminiscent of that, and it fits the album well. It's also heavily inspired, as I said, with anime and being a bit camp. This album is a story album, so even though all the songs are kind of loosely connected, they do tell a story that ultimately ends with Shinobi Strike 3000 just being a outro to just kind of re-give you the rundown of the story that they were telling in the album. And yeah, just overall this album was, for me, a fun listen. It felt like they actually went full into the whole gimmick instead of a lot of the other bands just kind of doing it just because it's a trend. And I do feel like a lot more care went into this because just the overall listen of the album is good. I didn't hate any of the songs. I mean, there were a few that were, outclassed by some, but the others were just good and I returned to, especially Cosmic Space Commando Base, as I've just been listening to that song on and off the past 2 days, alongside Evil Wizard Wushu Master and Wasabi War Machine to a lesser extent. But just, I don't know how to express it. The album was just a good listen from start to finish. There was a surprising amount of different changes to the songs. It wasn't just all one note. You got the songs like Supersonic Samurai, Tale of the Sunblazers, and Wrath of the Dragon God being the more traditional power metal songs. Oh yeah, and alongside Nippon Nights. And then you have stuff like Wasabi War Machine, which is a lot more just heavy, and Cosmic Space Commando Base is more poppy, so you've got that variety. And this album just works. It changes it up when it needs to, with some great keyboard work. It just all fits together really nicely. There's not much else I can really say about this album, as I feel like it is an experience to listen to. Not as much as maybe something like Glory Hammer or Twilight Force in that regard, but it's, a great effort, and it's, always nice to see a smaller band do this. And I do hope that this album becomes successful because on note one, I knew that I was going to just enjoy this album, and that's, I think, very rare for me. I think the only other times I've really had that are with Twilight Force's Heroes of Might and Magic and Sabaton's Heroes. And lastly, Glory Hammer Space 1992 Rise of the Chaos Wizards. I rarely get that feeling of note one, I know I'm going to love the album, and with Space Ninja from Hell, I did have that feeling of I knew this was going to be good, and I hope that they do well because I feel like for the people that like this style of music, it's going to be a good listen. If you're not a big fan of, gimmicky power metal, then I would maybe just listen to one of the singles and then kind of see if this album interests you. I most likely doubt it. But for those people that are in on gimmicky bands, then you're going to find something here that you might like, hopefully. So I'm just going to quickly end this by giving my score. I want to give it just an 8.5. It's good for what it does. It's a solid album. I found no real issues with the album. I could probably nitpick, but I personally don't really want to. If you're into gimmick bands, then you'll probably find something here. If not, then maybe give Supersonic Samurai a listen, or Nippon Nights. I wouldn't recommend listening to Shuriken Showdown. It's the weaker single of the album, and then just go from there. Just see how it is, and if you like it, you like it. If not, just move on with your day.